A fire allegedly broke out at a Lukoil gas processing plant in Kotovo, Russia, following a reported drone attack overnight on October 9. The Telegram channel Astra, citing local residents in Russia's Volgograd region, reported the blaze at the Korobkovsky gas processing plant. There has been no official confirmation of the reports. However, Volgograd Governor Andrei Bocharov earlier said that fires at fuel and energy facilities were being addressed after attacks in the region. Local authorities have not released details about the extent of the damage. The drone attack was confirmed by Andrii Kovalenko, head of Ukraine's Center for Countering Disinformation. The official did not specify the origin of the drones. This facility is critical for Russia's oil and gas infrastructure. It provides processing and transportation of gas condensate, as well as the production of raw materials for the chemical industry, Kovalenko said. Satellite images from NASA's Fire Information for Resource Management System confirmed a fire at the gas processing plant. The Korobkovsky gas processing plant is the largest natural gas processor in Russia's southern federal district. The facility, which began operations in September 1966, plays a key role in the region's energy infrastructure. The Korobkovsky plant is the largest gas processor in Russia's southern federal district, with a capacity of 450 million cubic meters per year. Much of its output, including liquefied gases and stabilized gasoline, is exported abroad. According to the latest assessment, Ukrainian drone attacks have crippled nearly 40% of Russia's oil refining capacity, triggering the country's worst fuel shortage in decades. The volume of Russian seaborne oil supplies in the last 4 weeks remained close to a 16-month high, as drone attacks on oil refineries forced the redirection of flows to export terminals and strained their effective capacities, Bloomberg reports. According to vessel tracking data compiled by Bloomberg, the average daily volume of shipments from the country's ports for the 4 weeks ending October 5 was 3.57 million barrels per day, which is approximately 80,000 barrels per day below the maximum value since May 2024. The average figure provides a clearer picture of underlying trends than more volatile weekly figures. The sharp increase in supply volumes occurred amid intensified drone attacks on Russian oil refineries, with at least 15 plants in the European part of Russia being hit in the last 2 months, the publication writes. Among the recent ones is a fire at the Kherson refinery, located more than 800 kilometers from the border with Ukraine. NASA's Fire Information for Resource Management System recorded 2 fires at the site early Saturday morning. This was the second time the plant had been hit in less than a month. According to J.P. Morgan Chase & Co. estimates, due to the strikes, oil refining volumes in Russia fell below 5 million barrels per day, the lowest figure since April 2022. This decline was accompanied by a sharp increase in oil supplies, which grew by approximately 500,000 barrels per day from mid-August over 4 weeks. Russia may not be able to redirect significantly more oil for export if attacks on refineries intensify. Reserve capacities at crude oil export terminals look very limited, the publication states. 2 of the 3 ports most likely to handle barrels from affected refineries, Primorsk on the Baltic and Novorossiysk on the Black Sea, are now close to their capacity ceilings, the publication writes. Although the third port, Ust Luga, also located on the Baltic, reportedly has nominal throughput capacity for increased exports, its supply volumes throughout the year are significantly lower than the peak reached in October 2024. These figures mean that the 3 western ports have only about 165,000 to 265,000 barrels per day of spare capacity, the publication indicates.
The Yamal gas transmission hub supplies gas to Russia's central regions, including Moscow and the surrounding region. A strike on this facility could leave the aggressor country without heat and electricity. Volodymyr Omelchenko, Director of Energy Programs at the Razumkov Center, made this statement on the Kyiv 24 television channel. According to him, approximately 17 main gas pipelines converge there. If this gas transportation hub is hit, then both Moscow and the central regions will be forced to implement very strict restrictions at a minimum on electricity and heat, he noted. Omelchenko added that in Russia, 70% of all electricity and heat production depends on natural gas. Recall, Ukrainian drones' attack on Russian oil refineries, in addition to fuel shortages within Russia itself, have also caused a sharp surge in crude oil exports from the aggressor country. This year, Ukrainian drones have hit more than a third of Russia's major oil refineries. Pavel Narozny, founder of the defense organization Reaktivnaya Pochta and military expert, says Ukraine is capable of causing a blackout in Moscow. He urges that this doesn't require striking the Russian capital directly. He explained that it's possible to destroy the power generation around it. He added that Ukraine produces missiles that work. This includes the Neptune, which has a range of up to 1,000 kilometers. There has also been much talk recently about the Flamingo missile, which has a range of up to 3,000 kilometers. But the important thing here is that we don't even need to attack Moscow directly. We can destroy the power generation around it, even at a distance of 100 to 200 kilometers, and then the Russians will have to come up with something, switch somewhere, balance the system, and so on. Therefore, even in Moscow, we'll have to implement power outages, he explained. According to Narozny, there's another very interesting point. He noted that while the Russians are destroying power generation capacity in Ukraine, our country can rely on the European Union for electricity. Russia, however, has no one to rely on. The expert added, connecting to, for example, Kazakhstan or another country won't work because Russia won't receive the amount of electricity it needs. Furthermore, Russia doesn't have its own production of turbines for thermal power plants, and acquiring new turbines will be quite difficult. Therefore, if we destroy turbine halls at thermal power plants in Russia, there will be a huge electricity shortage, Pavel Narozny concluded.